Hello, this is Darren, aka Skipper D, and today I want to talk about route planning a day sail. Often when we talk about route planning, we are thinking about cruising, where you might be taking a long trip, multiple days, but I want to talk about planning a single day or just an afternoon. We are on the PredictWind.com website, and we're looking at a map with a wind overlay, so we can see the direction and speed of the wind over the next few days. And I'm trying to look ahead 3 days ahead. Currently it is Thursday, and I want to sail on Sunday afternoon. So with that, I want to figure out, well, where do I want to go and how do I want to plan my day based on where the wind is coming from, so that I have the least amount of stress and I have the most amount of fun and things can be very elegant. So let me zoom out a little bit here so you get a sense of what we're dealing with. This is Lake Lanier in North Georgia. You'll notice that the lake is on a diagonal. So it runs from the southwest to the northeast. And this is important to understand so that we know how to orient ourselves when we're on the water, and also to think about where do we want to be at certain times of the day. As I zoom in, we can see that there's a green dot here. This represents the marina. This is where I will be departing from and returning to. So to the right of the green dot, we have this large cove here. This is known as Big Creek. So what people will commonly do is they'll get out of Big Creek and then they'll sail, let's say northeast. So they're going up the lake this way and then back down the lake. That's very common. I should point out that there are a series of islands right here, and this one, the bigger one, is known as Three Sisters Island. And I forget the name of the one north of it. But everyone refers to this as Three Sisters Island, and it's a very common landmark. You see it from all over the lake, so it's a great way to orient yourself. And it's got these little islands to the southwest of it that are very iconic. So when you're sailing all in these areas, using the islands here as a way to orient yourself is very useful. So what people will commonly do, like I mentioned, is get out into this bigger water and go north, and there's only so far north that you can go on a sailboat, because what happens is you're going to be getting up into this area, and there's a bridge known as Brown's Bridge, which sailboats don't go under this bridge. And before you even get there, there's a marina in this area known as Port Royal. So as you start going north, you're going to see the marina, and then you could kind of get up into this area, but then you're going to get near the bridge and you don't want to do that. So people will typically kind of come up in this area, turn around, and then go back south again. Another common thing to do is to go around these islands, and I have done that a couple of times. Once in a regatta, we went northeast and we went around the island in a counterclockwise fashion. And then more recently, I was with my friend Claudio, and we circumnavigated these islands, and we went in a clockwise fashion. So we came through here and then went up and around that way. Today, as I'm looking at these winds, I'm thinking, what do I want to do? And do I want to do the more common things or try something a little bit different? I should have mentioned that another path you can do is to go west and then south down near the dam. However, coming out of Big Creek, that's not as common because the winds are usually not favorable for that. For my planned sailing day, I'm looking at the winds coming out of the west, and one of the things that I like to do is to go upwind at the start of the day and go downwind at the end of the day. And the reason for that is, at the end of the day, as you're coming back toward the marina, fighting upwind to get back home is very exhausting. And you're already tired because you've had a longer day, and you can get into a state where you're anxious about getting back to the marina on time. When you're going upwind, you're going to have to tack back and forth, back and forth. And sometimes when you're tacking upwind to get to the marina, you get on a certain tack and it feels like you're going the opposite direction. So it can be very stressful trying to go upwind to get to the marina. So what I'm looking at is, with the winds coming out of the west, if I want to go upwind at the beginning of the day and downwind at the end of the day, then I plan to leave Big Creek, go north on somewhat of a beam reach, and then try to get as far north as I can and start tacking upwind. So that would mean I could head up this way, come back down this way, and just tack my way back and forth until such time as I can get all the way to the west and then tack straight south on a beam reach. And that would get me down near the dam area. So depending on how long that takes, it could take hours to do that. But what that does is it positions me such that when I turn around and I want to get back to the marina, if I make it all the way down here, I'll be on a beam reach here, and then a broad reach, and then downwind until, let's go back a little bit later in the day. Let's project closer to 6 p.m. when I'll probably be coming back to the marina. We can see that the winds are still coming out of the west. So I'll be going downwind most of the way back to the marina. And then as I come into Big Creek, I'll be on a broad reach, for the most part, depending on how far east I go. I could even go a little bit further east and then get on a beam reach straight back to the marina. Even if I don't make it all the way toward the dam area, even if I'm out sort of in this more northerly area, if I decide to turn around, I'm downwind all the way back to the marina. So as things stand right now, it looks like the better way to plan my day, or the best way to plan my day, is to head upwind at the start of the day when I'm fresh and alert and ready to go upwind. To do it early, go as far west as I can until such time that I'm ready to turn around, and then go downwind all the way back. So this is one way that you can think about planning your day. I'm curious, what would you do? What would be your thoughts for how you would plan your sailing day if you were planning to be out for, a few hours, 4 to 5 hours? What would you do on a day like this? Feel free to leave a comment and let me know.